Hello.
Can you see me?
I can.
Ah, very good.
And now you can see me.
Ah, yes. We
Yes,
meet at last. Keith
indeed.
Farley, aka Thane Kraos from Mass Effect.
That is true.
I have been hearing all of your voices since Thane Kraos from Mass Effect.
Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed them.
And you know how I get to know about Mass Effect?
Tell me.
The thing how I know about Mass Effect, my uncle Daniel played that game, and I must say, you are quite excellent as that character, along with Jennifer Hale's female shepherd, Keith David's David Anderson, Fred Tatasciore's also great, and many other great actors like Kimberly Brooks and many more.
I am so lucky to be part of such an amazing group of actors in that game in particular.
Yeah, and I have a lot of questions I wanted to ask you since this
Terrific.
very moment.
Hey, thank you for having me on your show, by the way. This is a real treat to be here. I'm glad you asked, and I'm glad to spend a little bit of time with you today. So, this is really great for me, too. Thank you.
It's always my pleasure since I've been making a lot of things that I've trying to been through, like when I've interviewed a lot of voice actors, just to make sure everyone knows that I really talked to them. Because the video I showed you was the one with Keith Sarabiha.
I love Keith. Keith is the other one of the many Keiths in the voiceover realm. There's Keith Sarabica and
Keith David,
Keith David, Keith Ferguson, Keith Farley. Yeah, there's
Keith
all of them.
Silverstein.
Keith Silverstein, indeed.
Yes,
Yes.
I've wanted to ask you many things, like how does it feel being the character Thane Kraos in Mass Effect?
Well, it was fun. It's always a thrill when you get a job and you get to work on a video game or a cartoon or a commercial campaign. All of those things are really fun. So, but you don't always know how big the character is, or you don't see the whole game when you start out. So when I started out, it was just a part that I got, and I was happy to go. And I went for a session or two, and then they started sending me more and more material. And I thought, oh, seems like I'm kind of a big character in this game. And then flash forward a year or so later, I'm in Costco, and the game is on the shelf, and then the picture of Thane is on the cover of the video game, and I was like, oh, I didn't know I was on the gonna make the cover of the game. So that was when it really hit me that it was kind of a big deal, um, being able to play Thane. And then the response from fans like you, who have been so kind and so generous, and um, all the stories that I've heard from different people who said that playing through Mass Effect, and particularly the interactions with Thane, were really helped them get through a difficult time in their lives, and help them overcome some obstacles that they might have had, was really gratifying. It's really great to know that the work that you do is being received and responded to in such a deep way.
I see. Oh, so that's why. So that's why I've been hearing about the Mass Effect stuff. Just like just like a few months ago, when you had that Galaxy Con thing about Mass Effect, where it includes Kimberly Brooks and Jennifer Hale, and many others.
Yes.
I,
It's the same. People have said the same thing. I mean, Kimberly's a good friend of mine. Jennifer Hale, I was on a call with her earlier today.
oh,
Um,
that's
I'm on Jennifer's running an organization called Skills Hub, um, which is a place where you can get coaching from
oh,
different actors coaching. If you are a voice actor and you've got a piece of copy or a material that you're looking for help with an audition on, you can go to Skills Hub and book a session with a coach like me, or lots of other great folks out there too.
I see. You know, I've always wanted to interview Jennifer Hale, because I've been trying so hard to reach out to her just to make sure I get her attention to me. That way I can finally have my interview, just like many other people got to interview many varieties of voice actors. Because you know which voice actor they've interviewed, for example?
I don't. Jennifer, I know is. It's difficult for me to get an appointment with Jennifer, and we're good friends. She's a very busy woman. She's got a lot of different things going on. She doesn't do a lot of interviews, so
Yeah.
she might be a challenge. But
Because I did see her like a few weeks ago having an interview with one of the voice actors of anime named Allison Packard on
mm,
Instagram. And I thought, man, because I'm actually friends with Allison Packard, actually, which she interviewed me like a few weeks ago before she interviewed Jennifer, because she wanted to know about who I am and what are my true intentions. So I spilled out the beans. And speaking of that, and speaking of cartoons, I even saw you in a show called Winx Club, because when I was only a little boy, I saw you on TV as the character Triton, which you actually worked along with Laura Bailey, Will Friedle, and of course Lauren Newman, and you were fighting against Adam Whaley.
indeed, that was a lot of fun because I was fortunate enough to direct Lorraine Newman on a cartoon called As Told by Ginger, which was on Nickelodeon for a few seasons. A wonderful show about um, middle school and growing up. I think that show's on Paramount Plus now, if I'm not mistaken.
You're
Um,
not mistaken. You never are. That's why I always looked up everything.
but Lorraine, so I had a relationship with Lorraine. And then when I went in that day and found out that she and I were going to be playing husband and wife, that was really exciting for me too, to be able to play with her. And then also with Kimberly Brooks, was also in the show in Winx Club. So to be able to be with those folks and then all the other wonderful actors who we got to perform with,
Like
Roger.
Will Friedle,
Indeed.
because I actually know about Will Friedle and his voices. Because you know what the recent show I've seen him on?
No, what's that?
The show that I wanted to participate in, the DC Superhero Girls, where he played as Lex Luthor, which I do his voice very good.
Let me hear.
Well, let's just say about whatever it is you're doing. I guess I should know. What, but I better guess that works too. Now, oh, trust me, it's gonna sound really cool.
I like it.
Yeah, because
Awesome.
I've been seeing a lot of your shows recently, and you know what else? I'm making a voice showcase about you and your voices. That way, no one would ever forget about your voices.
Well, thank you. That's very nice of you, Sebastian. Thank you for
That
that.
that is what I do, because everyone has the right to know about your voices, along with others that they should know about, including the ones I've interviewed with, like Fred Tatasciore, Dave Fioni, and Jim Maskaman, and many others.
Yep. Yep. Fred Tatasciore is a good friend of mine. Um, we actually discovered one day during a recording session that we actually went to UCLA together and were in the same show, but we
Whoa.
didn't know. We hadn't realized that we were in because it had been 20 years or more. And the show was a sketch comedy thing that we used to do the last day of school. And so I had graduated from UCLA, but I went back every year to participate in this sketch comedy show with all my friends who were still in school. And I think Fred had started after I'd graduated, and we were rehearsing for the show, and it was a totally last minute thing. Everybody just kind of got together. It was really um, very loose and just a whole heck of a lot of fun. And there was a piano that we were moving into one sketch that fell off the stage onto the floor. And that was when we realized, like, wait a minute, You were there that night when the piano fell off the stage into the audience?" And he was like, "Yeah, you were there." And we
Whoa.
realized that we were in the show because it was sketch comedy. We were all sort of working on our sketches separately. So Fred had a couple of things he was doing, I had a few things I was doing, and we didn't really cross paths until 20 years later when we were in a recording session together, and we realized that night during rehearsal, nobody got hurt, fell off the stage and into the seats, that we were both in the same show together.
Oh my God. Now that's the most hilarious thing that I've ever heard. And by the way, you know what voices I've been hearing from Fred ever since? I've been hearing all his voices since Ripjaws from Ben 10. I
Wow.
must say, I've been hearing all of his voices for many, many years.
He is a master of the
I
craft.
actually do his voice very good. Hello, my name is Fred Tatasciore, and I like to do a lot of voice acting. Like I like to do Hulk from Marvel, and I also like to do Kakazu from Naruto. I like to do Ben 10,000 from Ben 10, and many varieties of voices.
He is an amazing talent. He really is. He is, and a wonderful human being as well. I really enjoy Fred. He's really funny, really warm, very affectionate. Um, I'm proud to know him. He's a good
Yeah,
guy.
because he followed me on Instagram and was able to talk me out. And you know what else? We've seen each other 3 times actually. Was
Wow, when was that?
First time was on February, was through phone call when I finally got his phone number. But
Sure.
second time, he wanted to see me face to face because he wants to know about who I am and what are my true intentions. So I spilled out everything I wanted to say. And it was like, wow, you're really amazing. And I said, yeah, that's what people always call me. And by the way, you know what you should know about me since you've been seeing my Facebook? I'm actually autistic, actually. I was diagnosed with autism when I was only 3 years old. And I thought, boy, no wonder how I became a movies expert because I know lots of things.
Right. You do. You have been you've been able to put all that knowledge and hold it in your head.
Yeah,
Is an amazing gift that you have.
I even begin to recognize your voices, recognizing everything that I begin to experience. And that's why, because you know what I've been trying to do all this time?
Tell me.
All this time, I've been wanting to get in touch with many voice actors just so I can gain interviews from them, so that way everyone shall finally know who I am and what are my true plans.
What are your true plans, Sebastian?
It's plain and simple. To become a movie voice actor and writer for many shows and movies. Because you know what? You know who I got in touch with?
Who?
Creator of Victor Valentino, Diego Molano of Cartoon Network.
Wonderful.
Because you know what you should know about him?
Tell me.
He's actually friends of my mother's cousin, Daniel Cuevo.
Nice.
Yes. And speaking of my
Nice.
mother, you should know about her, but she's a professional golfer who appears in that show called Holy Moly with Stephen Curry.
I'll have to check that out. I love golf.
Yes, yeah. She's
She's a
at
professional, huh?
hmm?
Holy moly.
With Stephen Curry. And
Got
I
it.
must say, my mother was on TV that I thought, man, I need to get into my own show that I can finally see myself on TV like my mother did.
Well, I wish you the best of luck with that.
And
Stick with it.
that's when I got in touch with Diego. And you know what I told him?
What did you tell him?
I told him about an episode that I'm working on for him, and he told me to have it done so that he can help me become a voice actor and writer. Because after all, he is friends of Daniel Cuevo, and most importantly, he was impressed with my voice acting.
You have a lovely voice.
Yeah. And you know what I've been thinking of?
What?
I've been thinking of when I finally get into that show, Victor Valentino, I would tell Diego to recommend bringing you into his show to play as a
Ah, that's
character.
very nice of you.
Hey, it's what I do, you know. That is what I do.
I'd be
Because
happy to be honored
because
to be a part of
I
that.
I have a lot of recommendations to bring to Diego to make sure his show is completely awesome, you know, like bringing in Keith David, Tony Todd, and many others. Because I have to do their impersonations very well.
You do? Let me hear him.
Here's Tony Todd. No, I can see how you feel despair. Be my victim. Be my victim.
Nice.
I do Keith David's voice.
Let me hear Keith.
Well, it would seem you merely have enough strength to make sure you do whatever is right. You should be down on your knees thanking me for not killing you where you stand. Listen, fat boy, I've just had enough of you.
You know what's great? I do a lot of teaching and coaching for voice actors as well, and I always tell them a story about when I was in Barcelona, Spain, and I went to the Picasso Museum. And I walked into the first room at the Picasso Museum, and there were these beautiful paintings on the walls, but they didn't look like Picasso. You know, you're used to the Picasso with the Guernica and some of his more abstract work, but these were portraits, and they looked really familiar to me. And I thought to myself, I didn't know that Picasso painted like realistic looking portraits like this. And then I went up and I read the description of the paintings, and it turns out that these were copies of works that were in the Prado Museum in Madrid, where I'd been the week before, and that Picasso had gone in and found works by El Greco, which was his favorite painter, and he started to copy them and learned to do imitations of his favorite painters so that he could develop his own unique style later in life. So I always tell my students and I always tell my friends, if you want to be in uh,
Hello? Can you hear me? Uh, you're, uh, mm, how do I pronounce to say this, but, your camera.
technical
Oh,
difficulties, it's
fine.
perfectly fine.
Oh, what happened right there?
I don't know.
It was like it went all that or something.
It did. But anyway, so that's I mean, my point is you're doing the right thing. And I think that so many actors who are starting out who want to do this would do well to listen to and play video games and listen to cartoons and find out where does my voice fit
I
in
see.
this world. And you're well on your way. So congratulations.
Thank you. Because all I know is that I have been practicing a lot of voices for many, many years, and I've been developing them well and making sure I impress all the voice actors I've interviewed with, like Dave Filoni, for example.
Hmm.
He was impressed actually with about how I performed.
Dave is a wonderful actor and a dear friend of mine as well.
Yeah,
Um,
because
he he's a really smart, really talented um, guy, and just again, just a lovely human being, just as warm and welcoming as you could want. So I'm sure you had a good chat with Dave as well.
yeah, because you know which other voice actors I'm trying to get to accept my friend request on Facebook?
Who?
Yes. One most important person I've always wanted to interview with. The name of that actress is Kari Walgren.
Kari is another extremely busy woman. She's got her all the work that she does day in and day out. Plus, she's got a band now,
Yeah.
Slaughter, which is Slaught dash HER, Slot Her, because it's an all women's band that does
Yeah.
music from the band
Even
Slaughter. Very
even
cool
Mary
band.
Elizabeth McGillen knows about this.
Mary is, yep.
Because all I know is that the reason of wanting to interview her and getting her to accept my friend request is because of one guy who finally gets in touch with her. You know that person's name is?
Who was that?
His name is Chris Mayak, and he get interviews a lot of voice actors, which made me so jealous. I'm trying to work so hard to get in touch with many voice actors' agents, and that's why I end up getting in touch with you.
I appreciate it. It's really good talking to you today.
And
I'm got another appointment coming up
at what
here.
time is your appointment at?
I need to have a little bit of lunch, and then I have an appointment at 2 o'clock. So
Oh, okay. I see.
I should get going. Is there anything else that you wanted to ask me or know about before I go?
Well, I just wanted to make sure about that. I wanted to see your face that badly, and that because you know what this interview is for?
Tell me.
It's for my YouTube fans, because they recommend me to make a lot of videos about interviewing a lot of people, including you, Corey Walgren, and many others.
Well, hello to the fans out there. Thank you guys for tuning in. It's been great to have this time to talk with you a little bit about what I do. You can find me at keythefarley.com. And I spell my name a little differently. It's Keythe, Farley.com. I have a website there, and you can go listen to, see some stuff that I've been in. I also have a podcast called Live from the Lounge with Keythe Farley. And if you go to any of the podcast platforms, Apple or Spotify, you can listen to me talk about things. We also have radio shows and music and interviews with people. And if you go on any of the podcast platforms and you type in my name, Keythefarley, you'll find Live from the Lounge with Keythe Farley, and you can do some more listening. So I'll meet you guys there. And I wish you all the best. Stay in touch, Sebastian, and let me know how you're doing as you move
Get in
along
touch
your
with
path
many people as
of
I
getting in
can.
touch with people and increasing your talents as a voice actor.
Yeah. And I have one more thing to say.
Yes.
If you see Corey Walgren on Facebook, or if you see her in person, I want you to tell her this one important favor. I want you to tell her about who I am and why I want to interview her for, and why I want her to accept my friend request. Just because I've interviewed you, Fred Tatasciore, and many others that get to know me well. Will you do that for me, my friend?
I appreciate that. I think that, yes, if I see Kari, I will definitely mention you. No doubt
Hey,
about it.
I know you will. That's why you're one of my favorite actors, along with Fred.
Fred is I'm proud to be in his company.
Yeah, and one more thing. He text messaged me yesterday about him talking to Rob Paulson about me, and I was like, "You did? What did he say? What did you said to him?" And he told me that you're actually talented and wanting to do whatever it can to be a voice actor. And I was like, "Oh, thank you, man. You made me feel a lot happier." So
Well, it's
yeah,
great talking to you today. Thank you for this time, and stay
I
in
hope
touch.
this Yeah, I hope to see you again whenever we see on Facebook
Here, here.
or on Instagram or anything. Are we cool?
We're cool.
Oh,
Thank you,
and
Sebastian.
I follow you on Twitter, by the way, as Sebastian Brandon Ochoa. So you don't mind if you follow me, if that helps?
I will take a look at that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'll talk to you soon.
I'll
Have a
talk
great
to you
day.
too.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.